Well, ultimately, you end up getting life plus 130 years, and then you got sent to Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary.
Yeah, that was my first stop.
You ended up doing 31 years in prison.
31.
During those 31 years, what do you think was the most violent things that you experienced?
Did I experience or did I see or observe?
Well, let's start with what you saw.
I saw in Lewisburg, I saw at least, when I was there, 2 years. I saw at least 17, 18 murders.
Wow.
17, I saw that many, and I heard the other ones, in other parts of the jail that I didn't see.
Okay. How many different prisons did you get transferred to during those 31 years?
I'm going to say right off about maybe 10.
Okay.
Close
So
to
every
10.
3 years or so, they would just put you somewhere else.
Yeah, I stayed in a couple places. Maybe the longest place was Allenwood for 8 years.
Well, what was the most violent thing that you were involved in yourself?
I had one incident in the entire time. I think I had maybe 11 or 12 years in, and I was working in the library, doing nothing, was sitting down. I had a sanitation job, but I wasn't cleaning up for $5 a month or something like that. That's what they paid you. And so I would just go in the library, sit, read books. The young dudes come in. It was like a school, university, Harvard or something, Any subject you can imagine, we could talk about. And it was a guy working in there. He worked behind the counter where the magazines and the books are. And I could go pretty much and get a book. Then you actually have to show your ID to get a book. Give him your ID while you have the book. And then when you return the book, he give it back. But I never had to give him my ID. Till one day, I go get a book after maybe, 2 years. He asked me for ID. And I'm like, oh, I got to show ID now? He said, yeah, you've been here long enough. You know what you got to do. So I said, you know what? Keep this magazine on. And he started mouthing off and all that. And I told him, go ahead. And this is the same guy that I stopped somebody from jumping it, but he was a big guy, close to 300 pounds, lifting up all the weights. And what was happening, let me give you a little background. You had 2 new guys working in the library. He was assigned to teach them the ropes. And so he was enforcing it all of a sudden, which I didn't know at the time. And he showed them you had to be tough to hold down his position. So he started mouthing off, right? So I told him, I was like, man, get out of my face, punk. And he was like, I'm a punk, so what you want to do? Whatever you want to do. So he invited me into the men's room, the restroom. So I go in there with him. We get in there. He started talking. He was like, look, man, I'm too big for you. If we get into it, I will hurt you, And I was like, you ain't going to do anything to me. Looked him dead in the eye. You ain't going to do anything to me. You're a punk. He was like, look, man, I'll hurt you and all that. It's like, man, I'm not going to hit him first because he's 300 pounds. If he hit me, I'm going to fight him. But I'm not backing down. Right. Now I looked him in the eye and let him know, you ain't going to do anything to me. So he wanted to talk and talk and talk. He wanted to convince me, what would happen if we got into it, which I don't care about that. That's just the first stage. You got to worry about the next stage. All right. So he talking and talking and all. I see he's not going to do anything. So I walked out. I win anyway, right? He's 300 pounds. I'm 150 pounds, 60, you know. So I win. I don't have to do anything to him. You know. I win. You know, I took his heart. Get out of my face. He follows me back out to the table, sit down next to me, and still want to carry on the conversation. He don't understand what's wrong with me. You know, he's twice my size, and he can't convince me, you know, that I don't want to fight him, you know. And at this time, I'm through talking, you know, because I don't believe in words anyway, you know. All right. You're not going to convince me, and I'm not going to convince you, you know. So I tried to give him a pass. He wouldn't take it. So 4 o'clock, we goes back to the housing unit. I'm in 4A at the time. They do a count. They let us back out. I'm in my room. Somebody come to the room, say, look, Rudy, about 4 or 5 of your young homies out at the door. They say, come to the door. I go to the door. They was like, what's up, man? You was beefing with somebody over in the school? No? I was like, yeah, we had some words. What you want to do? You want us to kill him or what? You know? I said, no, I don't want y'all to kill him. I said, if I wanted y'all to do that, I'll do it myself. You know? I wouldn't send y'all to do that. You know? All right. Well, what you want to do? You know? I said, I ain't really decided right now, you know. So I say, look, we can go back over there. I'm going to trick him in the bathroom, you know. And y'all stay back, you know. I'm going to see if I can trick him in the bathrooms. So we go back over there to the library. And he's behind the counter. I walks behind the counter, snatch a magazine, right? So he come up to me, they hiding. He come up to me, it's like, what you doing? What it look like I'm doing, man? So you can't touch the magazine. He tried to get it out my hand, you know, I hit him, and we going. So we tussling, knocking over bookshelves, books flying everywhere and all that. 300-pound dude, he grabs me, he's trying to throw me, right? But I'm holding on. In my mind, I'm saying, damn, I told them to give me 3 minutes. I know that 3 minutes is up. Where my backup? So I'm like, where my backup at? You know, it seemed like a long time. You know, I'm thinking it's been like 15 minutes we tussling there, you know. So finally they come in, grab him. He don't know they with me, you know. They start grabbing real rough, pushing him and all. He was like, no, he swung on me first. He hit me first, you know. And he was trying to explain the situation, right? So we left. And we go to the basketball court. Now it's like 30 guys out of Baltimore. And they got knives. And they want to go back. So I'm saying no. So they were saying, like, you stay out the way. You know, we can get him when they call the end of the move and everybody go back, you know. And I was like, no, that's a riot situation. Plus they got a tower. They shoot down there, you know. No. They said, well, all right, we can get him tomorrow morning, you know, when they in bed, when they open the doors up and all. We can run in there. I was like, no, you know. I'm not sending these dudes on a suicide mission because they kill them. They never getting out of jail. All right. So they was like, we got to do something to them. They looking at my face. I got some scratches and all this on my face. They pissed off, you know. We can't let them get away with that, you know. All right. Because really, you know, when you talk about me, you're not talking about the individuals. You're talking about Baltimore. It wasn't so much me, you know. I mean, they love me too, right? But it was also, you know, the status thing, you know, right? You hit the legend in Baltimore. You can't do that. You know, that's like pissing on the cross or something, you know. A Christian, you know, and the Quran if you're Muslim, you know. So now they decided, and they got knives on them. I was like, okay, We just fuck him up. It's enough for us to fuck him up, you know. So they got knives, so I was like, nah, you can't take these knives and all. I've seen guys start out, you know, with a limited mission. They call it mission creep. The guy end up dead, you know. So I said, nah, you gonna leave them knives. Nah, we ain't gonna stab him and all that. We just gonna have them. I was like, nah, you gonna leave them knives and shit out here. Get that to somebody else. So we finally go back up there. You know? And now I tell them to go first, because if he see me coming, he know what it is. Send like about 7 of them up there, and we go up in there, man, we fucked him up. We gave him a damn near new face and all, beat him in the head with typewriters and everything. They call it deuces, which is the code, you know, an emergency code. We get keys and all that, feet running. So I'm like, I'm gonna get out of here. I like to get away with shit. You know, when I do something, I don't do anything emotional. If I don't have to. So they running, we hear the keys, we try and get out the library. But it was like 4 of them that was bloodthirsty. They got a taste of blood, and they was out of control, you know. So they got caught up in there. They take them to the hole, and they say, look, either take the weight, we don't want to go out there and lock everybody up, you know. Either take the weight, or we're going to go get Rudy. And they had me on camera, jumping over the counter, you know. And they said, well, all right. When they said that, they was like, okay, we'll take the weight, you know. So they went, and what happened was, it was a dude that he had a reputation for being a bully, run his mouth. The investigation, which is called the SIS, they knew about it. And so they left me out there. Like 3-4 months later, I think it was around Christmas time, they get out the hole. I see them, they coming in the compound, they smiling, you know, it's like heroes coming back home from the war, you know.